Hello everyone, welcome to another draft class recap video. Today we're talking about the Tennessee Titans. Let's begin. Yes, I am decked out in Minnesota Wild gear. Thank you for noticing. Okay, so the Tennessee Titans. My hat's off to you. Bravo, bravo. What a season last year. Ending the Patriots run in the playoffs with that pick six. Just absolutely terrorizing everybody all season long with Derrick Henry, imposing your will on teams throughout the season, bringing back and resurrecting Ryan Tannehill. Just fantastic stuff. Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach, and this is a very interesting team. I just wish the jerseys were more eye-appealing. That's my only criticism right now. So, heading into the draft, you lose Jack Conklin. There was a lot of talk prior to the draft about what this first-round pick was going to be. I, for the longest time, thought it was going to be an edge rusher, somebody to complement Harold Landry on the other side. By the way, side note, Harold Landry was a great pick last year. I'm very excited how he turned out because I had him rated as a first-round pick. Didn't end up happening. Titans got a steal. The rest is history. So I figured maybe it would be somebody like your Tergros Matos in the first round, or maybe somebody like a Terrell Lewis from Alabama, if you will. And that was my consensus. But then after Conklin was gone in free agency, the wheels started turning about, hey, maybe offensive tackle in this spot. But at the time, or at least leading up to the draft, there wasn't a lot of offensive tackles that were rated, I would say, high enough to, sort of fit the 29th overall pick. But as we got closer to the draft and we were a few days away, stocks started going up for guys like Austin Jackson. And the player that they did get, round 1, pick 29, Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle from Georgia, his stock went up surprisingly late. And there was rumors that he was being favored as a first-round pick among many teams, and lo and behold, it comes to fruition. Then that's one of my favorite parts about this process, is that we don't know a damn thing until the day that it happens, and you can speculate all that you want. But Isaiah Wilson getting into the first round feels like a good fit. That Georgia offensive line was just an absolute machine last year. Go back and watch some of the film. It's just impressive what they were able to do. It was like a towering wall of human bodies just imposing their will on defensive lines. Okay, that was a lot. All right, moving on to round 2, pick 61, Christian Fulton, corner from LSU. This is a luxury pick if I've ever seen one. A lot of people had him rated as potentially the first corner to come off the board, or not the first corner, I'm sorry, that's Jeffrey Okudah all day, every day. Second corner to come off the board before the emergence late of C.J. Henderson. So, but people still felt like Fulton would have been like a 17th overall pick to the Cowboys, or somebody that could have went late to the Jaguars had they not taken C.J. Henderson in the 9th spot. But I think a lot of people, maybe a lot of professional teams were turned off by the lack of pizzazz for his senior season. Still very good career at LSU, finished with 56 tackles, 2 interceptions, 20 passes defended. He was third in the SEC in passes defended last year with 14, which was also good enough for 8th in the NCAA. This is a quality pick. I don't care what people say. Yes, it was out of the top 50, but at 61 overall to get a guy like Christian Fulton, who, began the process in August as a potential top 10, top 15 pick, I think it's still justified, and I think he's going to be a good player. Moving on to round 3, pick 93, Darren Evans, running back from Appalachian State. Jack of all trades, master of none, running back here. 482 carries, 2,884 yards, 25 touchdowns. Also threat out of the backfield, 39 receptions, 319 yards, 6 touchdowns. First in the Sun Belt last year in rushing yards with 1,480, and first in the Sun Belt in rushing touchdowns with 18 last year. This should be a great compliment to Derrick Henry as they move forward. Moving on to round 5, pick 174, Laurel Murchison. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I apologize. I didn't look it up ahead of time. Defensive tackle from NC State. Another solid piece for the almost said offensive line. Defensive line, which they've been making. A lot of the picks for the Titans on the defensive front have just been home runs lately. Finished his career with 80 tackles, 20 tackles for loss, 11 sacks, 8th in the ACC last year in sacks with 7. Moving on, round 7, pick 224, Cole McDonald, quarterback from Hawaii. I love this pick, even though it's a 7th round, and we know how late round quarterbacks tend to fare in this league. I still think it's great. 616 completions for 8,032 yards and 70 touchdowns. First in the Mountain West Conference in passing yards last year with 4,135. Also first in the Mountain West last year in passing touchdowns with 33. Gunslinger, just absolutely. If you could take like a Josh Allen arm cannon and put it on somebody who's not an athletic freak, you'd probably get Cole McDonald. And I think just seeing him get an opportunity in preseason is going to be a game that I'm going to have to watch, because I just want to see him sling it all over the field like he did in the Mountain West. I'm kind of jealous that he didn't end up with the Vikings. Yeah, we got Nate Stanley, big whoop, but at the same time, just somebody with this kind of exciting pop in their throw like McDonald would have been intriguing. Last pick of the draft for them, round 7, pick 243, Chris Jackson, defensive back from Marshall, 189 tackles, 7 interceptions, 45 passes defended, 4th in Conference USA in passes defended last year with 11. That is the Titans 2020 NFL draft in a nutshell. Pretty quick. Not a lot of things of note to say, other than the fact that Mike Vrabel is building something in Tennessee, and I think people really need to start taking notice. So that even though we might not see Derrick Henry finish his career in Tennessee, that is, with Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman, all these running backs, not being able to withstand the workload. And there's this idea sort of resonating around the league that, paying high prices for running backs is starting to look like a huge mistake, and you don't want to get yourself into that kind of a blunder. Life after Derrick Henry will be interesting, but at least for right now, as it looks on paper, the Tennessee Titans are here to be a competitor. And I think this draft sort of doesn't lay the foundation, it adds to that foundation that's already existing there in Tennessee. And I think this team is going to be even better, if not at least just as good as they were last year. And this is a team that you're going to have to watch out for. They're no longer a trap game. This team is now a threat. As far as the magnets go, magnet of jealousy, Cole McDonald, just because for the lulz. And magnet of intrigue, I guess I'm going to have to go with Evans, just because, we know how dominant this team is in the running game. Yes, they were able to resurrect Ryan Tannehill. At the end of their playoff loss last year, it looked like, with Derrick Henry being taken out of the picture because you got to play catch up, it's one of those situations where you wish you were more able to sling it down the field. So it's just one of those things, and maybe this will be kind of the player that Damian Lewis was supposed to be, at least in my mind anyway. So it's intriguing to see how they'll use him. And that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the last one.